Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Oscar Film Forecast. I am Jack, or Geeky Gator. I'm joined with my co-host, Ben Campbell.
Hi, everyone.
And today we are going to be predicting who is going to win the Golden Globes. We got the nominations recently. We live reacted to them. Please feel free to check that out. It was a crazy, crazy time. That's for sure. And they're already only a few days away, which is crazy. The Oscars are going to be happening about 2 months after the Golden Globes. So we'll get a pretty good idea of who is the front runners in each category this weekend. So me and Ben are here to give our predictions of who we think are going to win. And the Golden Globes are known to always make some odd decisions. They almost always change up the race as to who is in the lead and whatnot. So let's start off with Best Film Drama, Ben. For that, out of the five nominees, I have at 1, Trial of Chicago 7, 2, Promising Young Woman, 3, Nomadland, 4, Mank, and then at 5, I have The Father.
That's a solid top five.
Yes.
I genuinely think the top four, any of them could win.
Yeah, I don't think The Father's going to win.
Yeah, no, Father's number 5. I think Trial, Mank, Promising Young Woman, and Nomadland all have a solid shot. So I just put them 4 down. When it comes to the order I have them on, I have it as Promising Young Woman, Trial of the Chicago 7, Mank, Nomadland, The Father. No real specific reason to that. I just genuinely think it could go any way. I personally would love to see it go to Promising Young Woman. I love that movie. I really liked Nomadland too. And I thought Trial of the Chicago 7 was good. But I think Promising Young Woman, it's the most unique out of all those movies because you could get an indie film similar to Nomadland, although Nomadland's kind of the first of its kind. But I think Nomadland and Sound of Metal are really comparable because they both look at disaffected people from society that have never really been looked at before. So I think those two films are really similar. But I do actually prefer Sound of Metal to Nomadland, and I prefer Promising Young Woman to both of them. So right now, I'm pulling for Promising Young Woman, and since I think it could go anyway, I'm putting that at number 1.
Okay. Yeah. I think Promising Young Woman, because I have it at 2 at least, has a pretty decent shot. Trial just seems like their kind of movie. They did nominate Promising Young Woman more than anyone expected, so they kind of helped it a lot in the Oscar race. I don't know if they're going to want to give it a win, though, just because there's only, 80 members, so all they really have to do is campaign pretty hard. But I could not sit well with some of the older members. It's a little controversial, the ending at least.
Yeah. Do you think, though, that The Father could resonate with all the really old people there?
Probably. I don't know if it seems like a best picture or best film drama kind of movie. I think it could resonate. But I don't even know what the deal is with that because it's been going down in a lot of rankings. Like in best picture, it used to be at number 4, just a month ago. And now it's people think it might not even get in. So I'm not sure about The Father.
That's crazy.
It's definitely not going to win, but it should definitely be nominated, which it is here. I think if Nomadland won here, it'd kind of be like a Moonlight win, which they have done before. But that's because La La Land, I think, was in comedy or musical.
Yeah. I wouldn't mind. The way I tweeted it out, I said, I wouldn't mind if Nomadland won. I thought it was a really impactful film and a really good one too. But I still think that Promising Young Woman is my favorite. It's like last year. I really wanted Joker to win, but I was really happy that Parasite won too.
Yeah.
Now, they're a bit different because I think Joker and Parasite had the same message for me. And the win was kind of, if either of them won, it was a win for both of them. But I think Promising Young Woman and Nomadland are a little bit different, but still, if Nomadland won, I would be happy. I would really be unhappy if Mank or Trial won because that type of movie wins all the time and they get nominated all the time. They get buzz all the time. Sick of it. I really like it to be those two. They're very bold, different, and new, both of them.
Yes, if Mank wins, cancel the HFPA. That's all. Okay, so
cancel everything.
I think Trial will win, and you right now have Promising Young Woman, right?
Yeah.
Okay. So now on to Best Film Drama Actress. Speaking of Promising Young Women, I have Carey Mulligan winning, and I think the next closest behind her at two, I have Frances McDormand, then I have Vanessa Kirby, then I actually have Andra Day, and then I have Viola Davis, who I feel has no hype anymore. She's getting nominated, but I don't think she has any chance of winning anywhere.
I also have Carey Mulligan, number one. Yes, I have a Polaroid of her, and I'm going to be
Yes.
putting it on my wall because I love that movie. Um, Carey Mulligan, I think, has the most hype, and I'm so happy about that. If that movie
Mhm.
only one actress but got nominated everywhere else, I'd be over the moon. So she's number one. I have Viola Davis at number two, and it's not. I don't want her to be number two. I think I'd be really angry if she won because she wasn't really in that movie a whole lot, not as much as Carey Mulligan, and not as much as Frances McDormand. But I think Carey Mulligan and Viola Davis are the only two that could win.
Mhm. Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, they probably wouldn't go for Frances just because she's also not campaigning at all, like she usually, at least lately, hasn't.
Mhm.
Um, and the HFPA likes people who campaign for them. I think Vanessa maybe has a shot, and
I'd love that.
yeah, they could pull a fast one and make Andra Day win, but I don't know.
I don't
I
think so.
still, I think this is kind of close to a lock for Carey Mulligan, which is nice.
It's really nice. Yeah.
So another probably locked category, best film drama actor. I think Chadwick is definitely going to win this. Then I have Anthony Hopkins at two, then Riz Ahmed, then Tahar Rahim, then Gary Oldman.
I'll say this with here, and I'll say the supporting actress. Did you see The Mauritanian?
I have not now.
I did, and it was amazing. It was genuinely, it's the type of Oscar bait that deserves to get the nomination, if you know what I mean. A
Mm-hmm.
lot of Oscar bait is really unworthy. Like, for example, the infamous The Post, not worthy. Darkest
Yeah.
Hour, not
Mm-hmm.
worthy. You have films like, going back through the years, like, say, Brooklyn, not worthy. The Mauritanian is very, very worthy. It's incredible. I absolutely loved it. And Tahar Rahim and Jodie Foster, I would love them both to get Oscar nominations. Now, I'm typically against, Jodie Foster's won two already. She's been nominated many times. I don't want her to be nominated again. I'm very against that type of thing. Like, say, with Renee Zellweger, I'm not
Mm-hmm.
into it. But she was so good, and the movie was so good, I would like to see it. So that's just the whole Tahar Rahim thing. He was great. I'd love if he pulled an upset, but that's never going to happen. This is Chadwick's category. He's winning. Sorry to Riz Ahmed, who I think would win in any other year. I think it would either be Riz Ahmed. So sad. He's just incredible. I'd love that for him, but it's Chadwick Boseman.
Yeah, it is. It's pretty much, I think even I would want Riz Ahmed to probably win, even though I liked Anthony Hopkins' performance more. I think if anyone were to upset, it would probably be Anthony Hopkins. Just because they may want to give him another win before it's too late. But Chadwick, I think, is definitely going to win.
Yeah.
So now on to best film, comedy or musical. I think I have at number one Hamilton, and I think the only other thing that could beat it is probably Borat. And I don't think anything else has a shot. I think it's between those two.
I actually disagree. I think it could be anything in this category, and I'm going to tell you why. Yeah. So, one, music. They they nominated music. They must have either A, liked it, or B, took a lot of money from a certain performer who may have also directed this movie. I'm not going to name names because I don't want to be implicated. But, they nominated that for a reason. So maybe they liked it. Maybe they'll give that the win. Like, that's like my number five still. It's not going to happen. But I still think, like, it came out of nowhere. That would be a very Golden Globes thing to do. So, yeah, music, five. The next one I have is I think I either have, I have The Prom here. So yeah, they love musicals. They could definitely give it to The Prom. I rewatched The Prom about 2 or 3 weeks ago. I liked it a lot more the second time. I thought it was actually really good. I loved the music. I loved all the performances except for the one that got nominated, which is incredible.
Yeah.
James Corden's horrific in the movie. Like genuinely, I skipped through his song. I skipped through most of his stuff, if I'm honest. That's really sad. And that he got nominated, horrific. But not on that yet. I think the prom could win because, very baity. They love that type of stuff. So that's just, the prom. Then I have Palm Springs. The reason I think Palm Springs has a chance, it's really indie. It's not really their thing, but it's the only one out of these that's like a genuine movie. It's an actual comedy. That it's not like a mockumentary. It's not a film stage production, for Christ's sake, and it's not a musical. Everything else is. So Palm Springs is the only genuine comedy. And if people want to vote for, let's say, an actual movie, Palm Springs is the only option in this category. So that's why I think it has like a teeny tiny shot, but it doesn't realistically. Then I don't really know, Borat 2, because it's really funny and people like it. Mm-hmm. And then also Hamilton. I'd be upset if Hamilton won. Hamilton was good, but it's not a movie. It shouldn't qualify. That's just my view, but that's a lot of people's view. I'd be pretty furious if that won.
Yeah, I think they allowed Hamilton in this year because the comedy musical category was extremely weak. Like if Hamilton wasn't allowed in, I don't know, it would probably be On the Rocks or something. It's just a very weak category, and they probably wanted that attention towards that category. The reason I don't think a movie like The Prom could win is simply because they didn't even nominate Meryl Streep, so I don't think that means that
she was great. She was great in that movie.
Yeah, she was great in it, but they ignored her. In Palm Springs, they ignored Kristen Milotti. And in music, music just cannot win. I don't know how that could ever happen.
It'd be crazy. It'd be crazy.
So yeah, I think it's definitely between Hamilton or Borat. I'm gonna go with Hamilton. I think most people are probably going with Borat.
I'll say Borat to be interesting, but I want it to be Palm Springs. It's the only one out of this group that I've loved both times I watched it, both the first time and the second time. Mm-hmm. Second time was I haven't seen music and I don't plan on seeing music.
Yeah.
But every other thing here I didn't like until the second time I saw it. So that's why I'm saying Palm Springs.
Cool. Okay, staying in the comedy musical category, we have Best Film Comedy Musical Actress. I think this is a two-person race. Personally, I think it's almost a lock. I think Maria Bakalova is going to win. And I think Michelle Pfeiffer has a chance at beating her. And then Rosamund Pike in third, but that's pretty much it. I don't think Anya Taylor-Joy or Kate Hudson have a shot. I think Maria Bakalova essentially has it in the bag.
Here's the thing, okay? Anya Taylor-Joy is winning for The Queen's Gambit. She's fine. Kate Hudson in music, fuck off. Yeah. You have Michelle Pfeiffer in The French Exit. People don't really like that movie. It's not catching on. But you know what movie everyone does really like and that's doing really well on Netflix? It's number 1 on Netflix. People love it. It's I Care a Lot. So currently, just to keep it interesting, because I think that there is a world where Maria Bakalova gets everything but not the Oscar.
Mm-hmm.
And I think a very early indication of that would be her losing the Golden Globe to Rosamund Pike.
Yeah, that would be an early indication. I think
it's unlikely.
I don't think she's going to get nominated at the Oscars. I don't think. It's between her and Ellen Bernstein, I think. And I hope it's Ellen Bernstein. But maybe this is where they award her. It is. They had, when the first Borat was there, it pretty much won everywhere it was nominated. The only other thing, like I said, is Michelle Pfeiffer. Maybe they want to award her, like, as a career kind of thing, but I still think it's Maria Bakalova.
I think it's Maria Bakalova, and I'm happy about that. But I keep Rosamund Pike in the back of my mind because A, I was right that she was going to get nominated. She was at like 12 or something, and I was like, nah, I'm putting her on there. And I was right. B, it's a great movie, and that people really like it, and it's a popular movie. But it may have come out too late before the ballots were sent in. You know, you never know. But also, people like Rosamund Pike because they nominated her for A Private War. And
they did,
rightfully so. She was incredible in A Private War. And I would love this to be her year. You know, there's a 5th actress spot up in the air. And I had like a really weird thing. What if Golden Globes do Andrew Day. SAGs do Amy Adams. Critics' Choice do Zendaya, and they did Andrew Day too.
Yeah.
And then you have the BAFTAs, which could do Kate Winslet. But I was thinking, like, what if the Oscars also do something different and they do Rosamund Pike? Now, that's unlikely. Very, very unlikely. I'm not saying it's going to happen. But I think it would be a really interesting season if you had every major body nominate someone different. I just think that would be really weird and really cool.
Yeah, it would be. I think if the Oscars are nominating someone different, I think it's going to be Kate Winslet personally. Just because I've been seeing her everywhere. She's campaigning pretty hard. And I've heard she's pretty good in that movie that no one has apparently seen. Okay, so now on to Best Film Comedy Musical Actor. I think this is also probably kind of locked in for Sacha Baron Cohen. I think maybe Lin-Manuel Miranda has a shot. Other than that, I don't think anyone else has a shot.
Can we point out how Dev Patel and James Corden should not be in this category?
Yeah, James Corden shouldn't be. I haven't seen what is it, David Copperfield, so
unwatchable.
Yeah. He's what? Unwatchable?
It's unwatchable.
Oh, it's unwatchable. Yeah.
Don't watch it. Pete Davidson was a big snub. He was amazing in that movie. He should have gotten it. And I can't really think of anyone else. But since, like, Dev Patel, I like him, but I don't like your movie, so I don't want you to be nominated. I'm trying to think of, like, another person. But I can't think of any other actor who is in a comedy movie. So the only person I could think of was either Peter Dinklage, Mads Mikkelsen, or Will Ferrell. And out of all those, Mads Mikkelsen should have gotten it for another round. Yeah. That's a great movie.
Mm-hmm. I was hoping that he would have a shot in Best Actor, kind of like how there's a fifth spot kind of open there. But I still want that to be Delroy Lindo, since apparently Gary Oldman is locked in now, which is upsetting.
That's frustrating.
That's life. Yeah, I think probably since Sacha Baron Cohen won't win Best Supporting Actor here, they'll award him for Borat.
I'd love it to be Andy Samberg because I don't want Palm Springs to go home alone. But I didn't like him in the movie. I liked Kristen Milioti. So I also don't want it to be him. Weird dynamic here.
Hasn't he hosted the Golden Globes before?
He has hosted the Emmys.
Oh.
And maybe the Golden Globes. He could have done both.
Yeah, maybe they like him.
He did. I think he did it the year La La Land was nominated.
Yeah. Maybe they like him. But I still think it's Sacha Baron Cohen's.
Yeah, you're probably right.
So now on to Best Supporting Actress. This is tricky here. This is very tricky. I don't think Helena Zengel or Jodie Foster or Olivia Colman will win. I think it's between Glenn Close and Amanda Seyfried. I think they'll probably go with Amanda Seyfried just because they already gave Glenn Close her Golden Globe 3 years ago.
Yeah. This is a toughie, I agree. You know, I see a world where Helena Zengel and Amanda Seyfried don't get the Oscar nomination because neither of them, I don't think, Helena Zengel got the SAG, but...
She did, yeah. Amanda didn't.
Amanda Seyfried. Who got it instead of Amanda?
For Ellen, no, it wasn't Ellen Bernstein. Oh, it was Yao Young Jun. I can't say.
Yes.
Yeah, good for her.
Yeah, it was her. I forgot about her. I love her. I haven't even seen Minari, and I love her. So, good for her.
Yeah, she does.
I see a world where Seyfried.
Where Seyfried wins?
Where Seyfried maybe wins the Globe, but doesn't get the Oscar because SAG snubbed her. People are saying it's like Regina King. But the problem with that was Regina King, Beale Street had a really tough time getting out screeners in time. Mike is on Netflix. So if you wanted to nominate that, you could have.
And they
ignored her.
Gary Oldman in the movie.
So I think that says something. So I really think that Seyfried Zengel don't get it. And I see a world where maybe if Dominique Fishback can make a comeback, or I think it's Ellen Burstyn. It's going to be Olivia Colman, Glenn Close, Ellen Burstyn, Yo-Yo Young. YJ. But I don't know who the other person is. It could be Amanda Seyfried. Or, fingers crossed, it's Dominic Fishback. That would be great. But
Mhm.
anyway, I think here it's going to be either Seyfried or Glenn Close or Olivia Colman.
Yeah, I think the Globes have given Coleman. I mean, she hasn't won a film Oscar before, so I guess that maybe ups her chances just because Glenn Close beat her. That oh wait, no,
I think Laura Linney.
was Olivia Colman?
Laura Linney's going to be here for the crown this year.
I think Olivia Colman did win in. I think she was in the comedy category anyway, so I think she also won her Film Globe actually. So never mind.
Yes, she won. She won for the crown. She won for the favorite, and I think she'll win again this year. But I don't think she'll win for the crown again. I think Laura Linney's taking that.
Mm-hmm.
A, bias, and B, I think she's never been nominated for that show at the Golden Globe, so I think they might give it to her. And I think she's either number 1 or number 2, so I think she'll take it there. So she could take it here, Olivia Colman. But again, it's Glenn Close or Seyfried. Coleman's thing. I'd love it to be Glenn Close. She's Oscar worthy.
She is. I think I'll go with Seyfried, even though she may not even be Oscar nomination worthy, in my opinion. But they've already given Glenn Close an Oscar. Unless they want to go aboard that hype train that is building for her, I think they're probably going to go with Seyfried. So now Best Supporting Actor. This is also tricky because I don't know what the Globes are going to do. I think I know what the Oscars are probably going to do. But Globe-wise, I still think Daniel Kaluuya is going to win. I hope. That's why I have at number 1.
I want to talk about this category for a second, and in particular, Jared Leto. So I did the work for you, and I saw the little things, okay? Mm-hmm. It actually wasn't completely terrible, but it wasn't anything special either. I will say, though, it's not Jared Leto that should be nominated. If you're going to nominate anyone, Denzel Washington was amazing in The Little Things. He was incredible, like genuinely 10 out of 10. He was great. Jared Leto, there's so much ambiguity about him, and he wasn't doing anything special. I think it's crazy he was nominated. So I think the fact that he was nominated, it blows my mind. But yeah, I think Daniel Kaluuya will win, but don't count out Leslie or Sacha.
Yeah. I think just because Sacha is double nominated, I don't know if he'll win here. He may cancel himself out. Jared Leto doesn't have a shot. Bill Murray has a chance, I guess, if they want to be full-on Golden Globe.
They really snubbed, though, On the Rocks, and they weren't expected to, so that's why I don't think he has a chance.
Yeah, true. I mean, the only movie here that really didn't get... I think all of these movies only really got one nomination besides Trial of the Chicago 7 with Sacha Baron Cohen, so they didn't really love any of these movies, I guess, but I still think it's Daniel Kaluuya's.
Fingers crossed.
Let's hope, yes. So now on to Best Director. This is also an interesting one. I think it's really between David Fincher and Chloe Zhao. I wish it wasn't, but the Globes could pull a just weird thing and be like, oh, we're going to give David Fincher the Globe he deserves, even though it's like one of his worst movies.
Yeah, it seems like it's a pretty locked-in category, but I see like something really strange happening. I hope it doesn't. I think Chloe Zhao did a great job, and I don't want Nomadland to win picture, so I'd like it to win director. But if they don't give it to Chloe Zhao, could you see them giving it to I hate them to give it to Regina King.
I don't think they'll give it to Regina King now. I don't think she really.
And also Aaron Sorkin, those two shouldn't even be nominated.
Yeah, I don't think either of them will win. I think besides the top two, the next most likely would probably be Emerald Fennell, but I also don't think she's going to win. I think it's Zhao or it's between them.
Yep, and fingers crossed it's Zhao. Like I'm 7 minutes into mine. It's taken me a very long time.
Oh God, yeah, it's taken you months. That's how bad it is. Just do a minute a month, and then maybe it won't be that bad. Okay, so now on to best screenplay. I think Trial of the Chicago 7 is probably gonna win. but I think it's between that and Promising Young Woman, actually. I don't know if anything else has a shot.
Mm. I think it's Trial and Promising Young Woman, but the outside chance, like, maybe if Mank could get that,
Ugh.
but I don't think so. I think it's Trial or Promising Young Woman with the edge to Trial.
Yeah, I think maybe there's a world where Trial wins Best Film Drama, and that's how that movie is awarded. Zhao wins for Nomadland for directing, and maybe in screenplay they would want to give Promising Young Woman a win. But
But then that leaves the question: who wins in the acting categories for those movies? Then does that mean that Sasha takes it for Trial, or Francis or Carrie take it? I suppose what do they want to do? If everyone wants to walk away with, say, who will have the most edge, I think maybe if Carrie Mulligan, I think she's going to win actress. So if that movie only gets actress, but then let's say Nomadland gets director and Trial gets screenplay, then it's like one of them is going to take picture too. So I wonder which one that's going to be. That's interesting.
mm-hmm. Yeah, it's tricky. Yeah, it's definitely tricky. I don't think Father or Nomadland really have a shot here, just because Father has a great script, but it's really not that much of a contender here. Nomadland feels almost more like a documentary than an actual movie, so I don't know how much it's actually scripted per se. So yeah, I think it'll probably be Trials to win. Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay. So now winding down onto some of the smaller categories, we have Best Animated Feature. I think Soul is going to win this easily.
Soul will win. I would like it to be maybe Onward because I preferred that, but Soul is double nominated, so it's not going to happen. Soul's going to win here.
Yeah.
I know.
Pretty locked. Just like Best Foreign Language Film, where almost 100% Minari is going to win because of the Golden Globes weird rules.
Maybe another round like upsets incredibly, but I don't see that. I think it will be Minari because Minari is, getting nominated everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Now on to another category. I think Soul is going to win. Best Score. I think that's definitely going to win. I don't know if anything else even has a shot there.
Yeah.
As it should, because that was my favorite score last year.
My favorite was Tenet, and I'd like to see Tenet win, but no.
He just won recently, and he just won what is it? Something for Mandalorian, whatever the TV ones are.
Emmys,
yes.
Emmys.
Emmys and Grammys sound too similar, even though Grammys are for music.
And the Eddies too. So it's Eddies, Emmy, and Grammy. That's weird, actually.
Too many E's. And then the last category here, Best Song. I think probably Speak Now from One Night in Miami is going to win this, just because I don't think Leslie is going to win in the acting categories. So they'll probably give him one here.
I agree, but I also, Stand Up from Harriet didn't win, and Cynthia Erivo would have won the Golden Globe for that, and she would have won the Oscar for that if they'd given it to it, but instead they went with something else. They went with a career one with
Elton John.
A horrific song from Elton John, which was a terrible, god-awful, unlistenable song. I think they could go with Low C for The Life Ahead. Maybe. I think it probably will be One Night in Miami. I'm just saying they've had this dynamic before and they didn't go down that road. So I'm just going to say it will be One Night in Miami, but look out for Low C.
Yeah. Okay. So that's everything for the Golden Globes. Any final predictions or statements you want to make before the big ceremony on Sunday?
I just want to say, look out for Promising Young Woman. People continue to underestimate that movie. They didn't think it would be nominated. Then it's still having trouble rising up in the ranks. They still think Emerald Fennell won't get director when she's gotten director almost everywhere. No, she has gotten it everywhere, hasn't she? They don't do it at SAG, but she got the Critics' Choice.
Yeah.
So she's getting it everywhere. Regina King's not going to happen. I don't think she's going to happen.
Yeah, I think
she should be the number 5 slot.
we'll definitely be
Yeah,
telling.
DGA will prove that. So look
Yeah.
out for Promising Young Woman. That could overperform, but it's definitely taking actress. Fingers crossed.
Yes, that is a lock, I think. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about the Golden Globes. They're kind of not that exciting this year, honestly. I don't know why. They messed up the nominations in a lot of ways. I'm hoping the Oscars do better in that regards. And yeah.
And we will be reacting to that.
Yes. Let's hope they at least put on a good show.
But
So,
we'll also be reacting to the Golden Globes live. Do you want to talk about that?
oh, yes. We will. Speaking of the Golden Globes, we are going to be reacting to them live. If you want to check out the Council YouTube page, what's it under? The Movie Lover, right?
It's the Council has its own YouTube. It's just, I think it's the Council podcast or the Council. It's a little pig. That's our little logo. Follow us on Twitter. It's going to be a live stream, I'm pretty sure. So
yes.
That should be interesting. That should be fun.
It definitely will be interesting. Let's hope. Yeah, it's going to be a virtual show. So let's hope they could go put on a good show. And yeah, that's it. If you want more Oscar coverage and award season coverage, please feel free to like and subscribe. Comment down below what your predictions are. And until then, see you next time, everyone.